Welcome back to your Day One Ignite online show. If you are just joining us, we are live streaming from the floor of Ignite in Orlando. We've had a team of community reporters out covering the excitement throughout the conference, and I'm joined by two of them, Tracy and Rick. How you doing?
Good, Seth, and yourself?
Fantastic. I like that you're out there, and then we summon you back. How has your experience been so far? Tell us about how many Ignites you've been to, Tracy.
So this is my third one, and they just keep on getting better, which is really, really good. It's not like movies; it gets better. And I think it's just it's crazy. The energy out there, the people, it's unbelievable how people get excited about things and how we're just passing ideas around and what's going on social media. It's very, very, very cool.
Awesome. Rick, welcome back, buddy.
Thanks, man. I think they just needed me to make you look good.
I know. It's like, let's bring the long-haired people on
Yeah,
to like bully me into growing my hair out long. I mean,
Absolutely.
who's got better hair, though? I mean, the lovely Tracy or me?
Did you just do that?
I did just do that.
I feel like it's not a contest, but if it were, of course,
It would be you.
it'd be. That's right. All right. So for those that are first-timers, any tips and tricks?
I definitely say stay away from sugar. The sugar thing is a problem. People
Yeah.
grab the Coke. or
That's
the
actually my nickname.
sugar or problem.
Both.
Got that wrong.
Yeah.
So hydrate, like lots of water and stuff. Very, very comfortable shoes. We keep on saying this. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't try and do every session after each other because you won't make it. You'll just be disappointed. Take breaks in between and talk to people. I mean, this is the magic. It's the people that fills the magic between everything. So take time.
That's super helpful because, like, I don't usually get to go to sessions,
Yeah.
but one of these days I'm going to go and just be like, I'm here. And it feels like the tip of like, don't try to hit every session in the
you
day.
can't.
It's not a good idea. I mean, you're not even going to get everything that's in there.
If you don't rest, you can't consume that information. I mean, you can't make sense of it. So take every second session, take a break in between, or do 2 sessions, take a break, 2 sessions, a break or something. But that's really, really important for me.
Well, why don't we just throw out the script for everyone back there and we're just going to all take a nap for a half hour. Do you think that'd be good television?
I just woke up from my nap, so I'm not quite sure what your problem is.
Fantastic. All right, Rick, what's it like being here for your first Ignite, but you're kind of getting it from a different vantage point?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a bit rabbit in headlights. I mean, I've been to Build, but that's nothing like the scale of this. And yeah, it's my first Ignite, and suddenly I'm running around, literally running from keynote to here, and it's hard work. I'm hoping I'm going to get some sessions in there, but as I said earlier on, I'm really keen on the expo floor and spending some time on there. I've really struggled. Actually, one of the things I've found hardest is just going through the session builder because there's so much in there.
It's like 7,000 or some crazy
Yeah,
number.
trying to pick a couple of subject areas just to focus on, I've found really, really hard because it's like, well, I want to look at Azure governance, but Squirrel Server 2019, that I think is probably one of the most difficult things I've got to deal with over the next week.
Yeah, Squirrel 2019 is probably one of our most anticipated products
New product, you heard it here first.
of the year. So tell me about, like, what kind of sessions do you go to? You're also delivering some sessions. Tell us about that, Tracy.
Okay, cool. So I've got a session coming up real soon. So I focus quite a lot on digital literacy and having a digital first business mindset. So I help companies change those cultures, and that's what I focus on. So productivity, definitely. I focus a lot on the productivity, the apps, and all the things that we can use and give to users to empower them. That's my biggest focus. So the week as well, all my sessions is around that. It's about empowering users to use the technology.
So why don't you plug your session, so for those that want to watch it later, because I know a lot of the sessions are being recorded, so you don't have to worry about missing any. They'll be posted online on demand. You can watch them. Tell us about your session.
So great session at 10 to 3 at Theatre 1. And it's about how to create that culture for a company to have a digital-first business mindset. What are all the things that we have to change? Because it's not only technology that changes that. So what are all the softer side of things that we have to develop to help companies develop new cultures?
Awesome. So you said you've been to 3 Ignites, and so I want to know, like, what is the difference that you've seen year after year? Because I've been to a couple. I didn't go to the one in Atlanta. I went to the one in Chicago, and I've been to this one and the one before. So I've missed the one that you went to. I think it was in
Atlanta. Yeah,
Tell
yeah.
us about like what's been the difference.
Of course, the ones here in Orlando is, I find the setting prettier. I didn't so much enjoy where it was hosted in Atlanta. It was difficult to get there, and the traffic around it and stuff was a bit more busy. But there's obviously more people, I'd say. This year as well, there's been a big change between this year and the last year. So they've kind of moved the buildings a bit so that things are closer to each other and more focused, which really, really helps a lot because we walked like, I don't know, so far last year. That really, really helps a lot. But the people are still just like, the people just get better and better. But I mean, tech just gets better. But yeah, it's just amazing. There's more people. Every year, everyone just gets better at it. So it's not just the people working here. It's everyone gets better at doing conferences, even the people who attend, which makes every conference that you go to just better and better when you see the same people as well.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of seeing the same people, we have Raymond over at the Immersion Zone. How you doing, my friend?
Well, I'm doing fine, Seth.
Fantastic.
Thank
So
you.
what's going on over there, my friend?
I am here with Louise Fraser, and Louise Fraser is the chief community sketcher for the conference. Welcome, Louise. Well, let's start with the explanation. What is the chief community sketcher?
Hi, thank you for being here. Chief Community Sketcher is a person who summarizes sessions and keynotes in a more visual way. So I lay emphasis on the content speakers say and try to engage community.
So you create a visual representation of what was being told during a session?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, and how did you become a sketcher?
Oh, that's a funny story, but to make a long story very, very short, I started to be a sketch note artist in May this year. Yes, it's only a few months ago. I was at a conference and did sketch notes just for me and twittered that, and the speaker was very, very appreciated about that and gave me a little present, and so I improved my skills and I went to Collaboration Summit in Mainz, and there Dan Home from Microsoft retweeted my tweets about my sketch notes, and he was totally amazed, and he fell in love with my sketch notes, and now I'm here. I'm your chief community sketcher at MS Ignite.
So you kind of became world famous in 4 months? 3 months?
Yes.
And what was your background before you became a community sketcher?
I do Office 365 consultancy. I focus on user adoption and change communications. I let the customer be in the center of all of my work.
And can you show us some of your work? What have you been doing today?
Yes, of course. I would like to show you how I do sketch notes and why I do sketch notes.
I'm seriously interested.
Yes, so I will guide you through that. Why do I sketch note? It's in the center of everything I do. I like to promote creativity. I'd like to increase comprehension, because if I just don't only tell what I think, when I show you, you're more engaged than if I don't do that. And I truly love to engage the whole audience by sharing my sketch notes through social media. I do that on Twitter, so make sure you follow me on Twitter at Louise Fraser. And I like it to facilitate the speakers, because speakers like it when they are heard truly, and when they get the feeling that someone understands what they are saying at a deeper level. And last thing, to validate participants is really, really crucial, because we're here for all that participants, for the community, and for feeling connected. And last but not least, it's fun. It's really, really fun, and I like to introduce you that.
Can you show us a drawing?
A drawing, okay. We just do Pam. Pam is like this. Well, these are the eyes, tiny nose, the mouth. Pam gets hair, long hair, and a little bow. And she's wearing a nice t-shirt.
So this is one of the characters that operates in your sketches.
Yes.
Can you show us the sketch that you created tomorrow
Yes.
this morning when Satya presented the keynote session?
So, this is the vision keynote by Satya Nadella, our CEO, and yes, I will guide you through that very, very short. He did a great welcome. Nearly 30,000 people are here. We are all together here to make future happen. Our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And for that, we use technology like AI and blockchain and Dynamics 365 and something like that. So I think you have to look at this at a deeper level to get all that he said. But I think
Okay, thank you very much. I have one final question.
Okay.
Can we learn this from you?
Yes, of course. You can learn this from you. I will host a mini workshop tomorrow at 10 o'clock here at Community Central, and you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Seth. I think we learned a lot.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Raymond. That was awesome. I mean, I love sketch notes. I'm terrible at like drawing. I'm terrible at anything like normal. Like I'm good at like programming. Like seriously, like my poor wife's like, hey, can you go I'll call somebody. Right? It's pretty sad. But like Louise is just an amazing sketch note artist. Like, what do you think of sketch notes?
So I really, really think sketch notes is amazing for portraying visually what it is that someone's trying to express. Now, did you know how small is the world? I actually know, Louise.
You do?
I do.
That's crazy.
And I know that's crazy. So I'm all the way from South Africa, and I met Louise when at the Collaboration Summit in Mainz a couple of months ago, I think in May. And we've become great friends. She's done a couple of sketch notes for me. She sketch noted my life journey for me when I finished my blog challenge. Yeah, very special.
Life journey? Like how?
The crazy stuff that I do and why I do challenges and stuff.
Is this like a really, it's like a booklet or something?
No, it's short. There's a sheep, there's crazy pants, and ikigai.
Nice.
I'm a like short life journey
fantastic,
person. Yeah, and she's done diversity sessions for me as well that she sketch notes. So, I mean, she's an amazing artist. I really love the work that she does.
Fantastic.
And she uses OneNote.
I have OneNote here on my Surface Go.
Should I show you how it works?
Like if you double click this pen.
Oh, wow. Wait.
It comes up.
Oh, that's
It's
wonderful.
really nice. And then I just need to draw on it. It's fantastic.
That's lovely.
Thank you. What do you think of sketch notes, my friend?
So I got to say, I think they're really, really great because it's a really visual way of summarizing a session, isn't it? I mean, we're really pleased. We do community conferences in the UK, and a lot of guys now and gals turn up and they sketch note, and then they tweet the notes out for the sessions for other people
So
that have
helpful.
attended. It's really, really cool.
It is.
Awesome. Well, look, I'm a terrible drawer, but there's something that we all need to think about. For example, security. Recovering from a security breach is hard work. Unfortunately, it's a reality for many of us in the business. Earlier, the host of Modern Workplace, Alex Bradley, chatted with community reporter Paula, where she shared an exclusive look at the steps to take if this happens to you.
Hi, I'm Alex Bradley, host of The Modern Workplace, here with Paula to talk about how to recover from breach. Paula, thanks for joining me. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much. So, Paula Januszkiewicz, thanks for having me. And I'm the CEO of Secure. It's a cybersecurity consulting company.
All right, so what are the top things that people ask you about in your consulting?
Absolutely a skill set. So if we are talking about the decision makers, they are wondering how to build an appropriate skill set in security/cybersecurity in their organization.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got a great stat around cybersecurity professionals and the demand for them.
Absolutely. Even Financial Times said that by 2019, we're going to need approximately 6 million cybersecurity professionals. But with the current development, we're going to have from 4 to 5 million. So we're like 1.5 million soldiers short. That's a little bit of a problem.
So the message to people at Microsoft tonight, attend the cybersecurity sessions.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course. Cybersecurity is a very popular subject.
Totally. Now, you mentioned decision makers. Do decision makers ask you if they should be scared about potential breaches?
Well, they do, because you kind of like don't know what to expect. The cybersecurity or insecurity market is growing too. So there's like lots of new threats being developed, new different types of techniques of injecting things into operating system, new threats. So they don't know really what they are about.
And is this a business leader or a technology leader or both that need to be thinking about this?
Both, because business leader is responsible for, at the end, the safety of the company. Technology leader is responsible for actually executing it. So they both need to know what kind of risk is out there in cybersecurity, and they need to know how to manage this.
I've heard our CISO sometimes say cybersecurity is a team sport. Everybody has to play.
And which is a great thing that you said that, because sharing is caring, and because cybersecurity is a new subject for everybody.
Yeah.
It's new every day. Every company designs their own cybersecurity framework.
So how do you advise leaders to prepare?
So have a well-designed framework, which means to define all these areas where cybersecurity needs to be implemented. And that involves, for example, things like even hiring people.
HR, yeah.
Totally, right? So who is your domain admin? Do we actually have a procedure to check on it? Because that's the person that's going to have access to the most valuable information in your company, right?
Gets back to that multidiscipline.
Absolutely, yes.
Now, what are your key takeaways that you hope people take away from not only this interview, but maybe this conference as well?
So one of the things that everybody should pay attention to is to implement well the systems that will prevent running the code that we don't know, which is a code execution prevention, as we call it. So things like AppLocker combined together with a device guard. That's to protect us from an unknown code. Another part is to look at your identity and the privilege access, and therefore the privilege access management is one of the things that is definitely coming in, because we need to learn how to manage those highly privileged accounts.
So staying patched and up to date and having great authentication and identity.
Absolutely, yes. And the last part would be to think about how you're going to build the skill set, because security is a needed subject, a needed skill, and that's going to be even more needed in the future.
Comes back to those skills. Thank you so much, Paula.
Thank you so much, Alex.
That's awesome. I'm such a fan of Paula, but I'm also a fan of Tony, who's over at the Expo Hall. Tony, can you hear me, my friend?
Yeah, I can, Seth.
What's going on over there, buddy?
All right, so I'm standing at the Expo Hall. If you look right behind me, you see a lot of people trooping in. The Expo Hall just officially opened, and there is so much excitement here already. Right behind me over there is the modern workplace section. So over there you get to find a whole bunch of information about stuff like Teams, Office 365, Windows. So if you're like an IT pro, that's like an amazing place to be. And then right here where I am is the dev section for developers just like myself. Over here you have the .NET, ASP.NET, Visual Studio, and a bunch of other software-related stuff. So for the devs out there, feel free to come down here. You can have a chat with some of the program managers, some of the devs that work on the products that you use. And over here, we can see that there's a whole bunch of Azure-related stuff. So for people who are really interested in the cloud and building for the cloud, this is the place to be. You can see a bit of databases, blockchain, machine learning, which are like the rave right now. So yeah, the Expo Hall has so much stuff, both from Microsoft and from vendors as well. So come on down, it's really great over here. Back to you, Seth.
Thanks so much, my friend. By the way, you get all you can over in the Expo Hall, because I love me some Expo Hall. Tons to learn there, my friend.
All right.
Awesome.
Have a great one.
We'll see you later, my friend. Okay, now the important bit is we need to check in with our social weatherman, Hajit, who is literally just right over here. Hajit, what you got going on for me, buddy?
It's cloudy with a chance of awesomeness on Twitter.
We did not rehearse that.
No.
It was all like live magic. Thank you, sir. What do we got going on in social?
All right, so I'm really excited to see this announcement. The Microsoft Tech community hit 200,000 members today, and it's growing. It's awesome.
That's amazing.
So hopefully you guys can see the tweet, right?
Uh-huh.
And then following that, I'm also really excited about the Diversity in Tech promotions that are going on. This one here from Creative Maven.
Are they getting the tweets back there? I want to make sure people can see them. Keep going, keep going.
All right. So there's a Empower Lunch with Donna Sarkar tomorrow at from 12:15 to 1:15. And then you got the awesome ladies, doing diversity in tech with Shauna Chi leading it, and she's doing an awesome job with that. And we have Mr. PowerShell, Jeffrey Snover, who's going to do the PowerShell Community Social later at 7 o'clock today.
Woo.
So make sure you stop by and check it out, and here's a tweet for that. And so the other thing about Microsoft Ignite is not just about sessions and checking out the expo hall. It's about networking, right? Meeting people and stuff like that. So here's one tweet here. This guy Daniel met up with somebody and he started talking and doing his own interview with him to learn more about.
That's like people are self-interviewing with other people.
Right.
Do it.
And then apparently it's really, really cold here.
Well, it's warm here. Am I right, Hodgett? Like,
it's pretty warm.
We got like a couple suns just blaring on us right now. It's amazing.
Hey, and I got another one.
Let's hear it.
How do you make phone calls?
With my cell phone.
You got to use this.
They don't get good reception in the expo hall. That's what I found, though. They get really good reception outside. I don't know what.
That's what I have.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for that, Hodgett. That was amazing. I don't even know what to say after that. I was going to even ask you and talk to you about stuff. I don't even know what to talk to you about.
I don't. Cell phones. I don't know. It's low on sugar at least.
It threw me. Threw me completely off. So Tracy.
Oh my word.
Tell me about getting over here. It probably took a long time.
It's, I don't know, what is it, about 2-3 months trip from South Africa by boat. No, it's a long trip. So I've been in the US already for 2 weeks, but normally it takes us about 36 hours to get here from hotel to hotel or house to hotel. So it's far.
Yeah, and I don't think people get the scale of how big this is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like a lot of walking that's going to be happening, right?
It's far. I mean, I can pretty much fit Cape Town into this room.
Right in here. Just
yeah. This is Cape Town.
Right?
There we can go into Joburg. I mean, it's just fantastic. It's just unbelievably big. I mean, I did SharePoint conference in Vegas a couple of years ago, and that was 10,000 people. I've never ever seen so many people. So this is just unbelievable, and it's even more shocking that you sometimes walk past the same people.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being with us. I'm going to send you off in a second. Before that, John White gets interviewed by one of our infamous community reporters. Take a look at this.
All right, I am joined by John White. John, thank you for joining me. Can you please tell me a little bit about yourself before we dive into this incredible tool you've built?
Sure, I'm the CTO for tyGraph. We do analytics products for Office 365, specifically SharePoint, OneDrive, Yammer, and as of this week, Microsoft Teams.
Awesome stuff. All right, we are here to talk about a tool that you've built on Power BI and Microsoft Flow. One that has been used a couple years now at Microsoft Ignite. How long have you been doing this?
This is our third Ignite doing the Twitter analysis, yeah.
Perfect, that's awesome. So back in the Atlanta time frame.
Yep.
How much time do you have to put each year into building this tool? Is it kind of, you've already done the heavy lifting and you have it templated, or?
Looks pretty complex, right?
It does. It looks very complex, yes.
Yeah, well, it's been built up over time, and it's changed considerably in that time. So it's gotten to the point where moving from event to event, because we don't just do it for Ignite, we do it for any number of community events.
Right.
But moving from event to event, there's a new report that's created from the old report, and a new flow is created from the old flow. But it only takes about an hour to switch it across, at least for the Twitter aspect of it.
And I understand that it's grown a bit over time as people have made requests to see different things, and
that's correct. I mean, the version you've seen here has evolved in the last month as we've
quick time frame.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's dive into it. I'd love for you to show us. Let's start with the Twitter side. This is my personal favorite part of it. So yeah, tell me a little bit about what we're looking at here, and then we'll jump over to the schedule builder.
Sure thing. To start with, we're looking at are all the tweets that have gone out about Ignite since September the 1st.
30,000 of them. Wow.
There's about 30,000 of them as of, well, there wasn't this morning, but there are now. And you can see it's broken down by color into original tweets and retweets. The darker red is the original tweets.
Trending up.
So yeah, and that's a cumulative chart in the upper left. On the upper right-hand side here, we can see over the last 24 hours by hour how many tweets there were, and you can see, of course, starting this morning, it's really jumping as we're into the pre-day pretty heavily of Ignite. Bottom left, top original tweeters. Who's providing original tweet content to the show? And you can see we've got a pretty stiff competition between.
And this is original tweets, not retweets.
That's correct. So you can't just sit there hitting the retweet button. And by the way, if you build a bot, that's a good way to get yourself banned.
There you go.
And the bottom right-hand side here says the most retweeted tweets, and that's specific tweets that have been retweeted by different individuals.
Awesome.
And number one as of today is a Microsoft tweet talking about Satya Nadella's keynote tomorrow morning.
Well, that makes some sense, I would say. Awesome. Should we go ahead and jump over to the schedule builder? I know there's a lot more going on here.
Show you one more page.
Yeah.
One more page, because there are a number of pages to this
page
report.
Is awesome. Yeah,
and this is another one that gets used an awful lot. We've got mentions and hashtags. So how many people are being mentioned during the event, and then what are the top topics, essentially, or hashtags. So you can see Anna Chu's at the top of the list in terms of mentions. She may not tweet a lot, but boy, does she ever get
people talk
mentioned.
about Anna.
She gets talked about a fair bit. And on the hashtag front, you can see number 1, 2, and 3 are Azure, Teams, and first-timers. At the end of the conference last year, the number 1, 2, and 3 were SharePoint, Office 365, and Azure. So it's going to be interesting to see how it lands this year.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that first-timers having surfaced up there. That's a cool theme this year.
Absolutely. I think Anna had something to do with that.
She did. Yeah, she did. But let's talk about the schedule builder piece now.
The schedule builder is something that's unique to Ignite. We've done it now for 2 Ignites. And so basically, I know a few people on the schedule team, and there's an API available to this. And we're able to plug Power BI directly into the API for the schedule builder. So as it changes, this report obviously updates. But we're able to break down the sessions at Ignite by any number of criteria or dimensions. So by level, for example, by the type of session, you can see how many 45-minute breakouts we have versus 75-minute breakouts. And we can, of course, slice and dice this a lot further to get some interesting numbers out of it.
All kinds of filters on the left there.
Yep,
this is fantastic. You've done a wonderful thing with this. This is going to be fun for people to explore throughout the week, to watch and see who those top tweeters are and all that good stuff.
You can see it yourself at link.tygraph.com/Ignite sessions or Ignite tweets for the Twitters.
There you have it. Okay, perfect. One last thing before we jump off. For people that are aspiring to really dig into Power BI, they know this is an area they want to become a Power BI ninja, if you will. Do you have any generic tips or tricks that you'd recommend, places where they could start?
I get asked this question a lot, and I'm very much a self-learner, so it's hard for me, but I do know a couple. There is an edX course that's available. That is
great source of learning.
Yeah, starting up. It's free. You can pay $50 and get a certificate if you want to, but you can go through the whole course for free, and it's fantastic. It's great stuff. Will Thompson, I believe, is the author of that stuff. And another one I would point out is Guy in a Cube. Do you know Adam Saxton by any chance?
No.
Adam puts out twice weekly. He puts out 10 minutes of video content about what's new or walks through a basic tutorial of things. Awesome. You could go over his back catalog and come right up to speed. So there's a couple of things I'd recommend.
Well, awesome. Those are great tips. Thank you so much for sharing this with us today and giving us the background. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Have a great rest of the conference.
Thank you.
All right, we are back, and I'm joined by Alex, who's going to talk to us a little bit about where he's from. But before that, Jen had a chance to catch up with Buck Woody. Let's see what he had to say.
Hello and welcome. And with me today in the studio, I have Buck Woody of the AI team. Now, what's up, Buck?
Hello, Jen. What's up? Lots of stuff. Artificial intelligence, right?
Yes, it's one of my favorite topics.
Yeah.
So tell me more about what Microsoft are doing in the field of AI for small and large organizations.
Yeah, that's great stuff. We've got sort of 4 ways to think about it. The first is you can just use artificial intelligence using AI. It's built into Office, things like Excel. PowerPoint, when you drop in a picture now, will auto-caption it for you, and that's all done through our AI services. Dynamics, all kinds of announcements coming out this week as well about what we're doing in that space. So for that, you don't have to do anything, you simply use it. It's just baked right in. Then there's also, of course, leveraging AI. We've built dozens of services, from vision to language understanding and voice recognition and so on. They're already built, they're already ready to go. You can call them from Java or C#, any kind of .NET language. Just incorporate that right into your apps, or even CLR functions inside SQL. You could potentially use some of those as well. And then you've got the full up build artificial intelligence, and these are things like leveraging some of our tools and SDK around some of the other open source frameworks that are out there, PyTorch and TensorFlow. We're fine with those. And of course, to find all this, you need a way to find it. And then we have an AI gallery where you can simply type in an industry scenario, see an example, and potentially even implement that.
That sounds amazing. So your advice to people who want to get started with AI, would it be really to start with the data, first of all, or how would they
that's
get
a good
started?
point. We also have artificial intelligence not just in Azure. We have it there, obviously, in spades, but we also have artificial intelligence built right into SQL Server. So you can use the new ML server in SQL Server 2017 to run R or Python scripts that can do artificial intelligence and keep your data on premises. You can do it hybrid, or you can even run SQL Server, obviously, up in Azure and do it that way.
It sounds as if people who already have got great SQL skills and great database skills could actually start to learn some of these new skills in AI. Do you recommend anything specific for them to make that jump?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to the azure.com site and go to the artificial intelligence section there's a section down towards the middle called training, and we have a full artificial intelligence school, AI school, and you can begin to take courses for free. Some of those are provided by Pluralsight. We've written a few and so on, and we've put those together so that you can learn how to use this stuff.
Oh, that sounds great, and it really sounds as if it could be for any organisation, any size.
That's right.
And we're already carrying AI around with us in our smartphones.
That's
and
right.
in the Office apps we already use and love. So I think it's a great time to be in the industry
It is indeed.
and get started.
Yes, absolutely.
That sounds great. Well, thank you so much, Buck, for your time today.
All right.
It was really great to speak with you.
Yeah.
And hopefully people will be able to move forward from the data to doing real AI with Microsoft technologies.
Absolutely. And now you know what's up, Buck.
Now I know what's up, Buck. Thank you so much.
All right, we are back, and I wanted to talk to you, but the people that bought the spinner prop are getting mad that we're not using it enough, and so I got to go spin it. So to see who we're going to talk to next, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to spin it. This Wheel of Mystery. Are you ready, everybody? Who are we going to talk to next? Oh, my goodness. It landed on Raymond. Raymond, are you there, my friend?
Hi, Sid.
How you doing, buddy?
Yes, I'm here.
What's going on over there, my friend?
Well, I'm currently at the Microsoft pop-up store, and as you can see, it is crazy busy down here. I'm here with Melanie. Melanie, welcome.
Hi, Raymond. How are you?
Well, I'm doing fine. Well, can you tell us what's happening at the Microsoft store?
I mean, like you said, Raymond, it's super busy. We have tons of people, tons of crowds showing up to the Microsoft store. Something so unique and proud that we have here is to be able to showcase our products and do experiences. This is actually part of our Surface family. It's called the Surface Go. It's one of our hottest products that we're selling right now. Super portable and lightweight, easy to grab and just kind of throw it in your bag. So it's been a popular item for EDU and business customers. So we're super excited for that.
Okay, but I know it's busy, but can you give us a tour of the store?
Absolutely, Raymond. Come over here, I'll show you another exciting product that we have available in store. Let's go.
This is the place to be to find nice stuff.
All right, so this is actually the adaptive controller. It's an accessibility feature that we have available at stores. We are so proud to be able to showcase something like this that's going to connect our communities nationwide and worldwide. So we're super excited to have that in store. Something else, Raymond, that we have available that's unique to this Ignite experience, it's called the official gear. If you guys want to come check it out. This is the first time ever that we've ever had Microsoft Xbox official gear in store. So if you need to pick up something, stop by today. It's really, really fun, unique devices that you can pick out. And something that we have in the back, it's called SMB Zone. So if you need any assistance with enterprise solutions, we really have it all available here. So please come by and check it out because we'd love to help assist you and be more productive in your business.
Okay, and where can people find more information?
So you can actually go to Microsoft.com if you have any more questions about products, but the best place to go is really in store because we're all professionals here and we're all about delivering experiences. So come by today, or if you can't make it, you can do a buy online, pick up in store. It's called BOPUS. So if there's something that you're looking for, you can place that order online and then pick it up in store. Amazing products.
Well, I will definitely pass by here in the Microsoft pop-up store. Seth, back to you.
Thank you so much, my friend. I myself also have a Surface Go. So Raymond, I mean,
So do I.
Am I right? It's a delicious little device. Pretty excited to be here. How you doing, Alex?
Very good.
Like-
I'm hooked on this one now,
Yeah.
especially after seeing Raymond doing all that thing over there.
We
at the
might
Microsoft
need to
store.
go over there and be like, hey, what kind of discount can you give me?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Either that, or we attend the Microsoft mechanics shows.
Mhm.
We can get a chance to win one over there.
Oh, I don't know if they'll let us win though. They might not let me win because I already work for Microsoft. I know it stinks.
You don't have to tell them. You're not that popular anyway.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, come on.
Just when my head was getting way too big, they brought in Alex to just put a pin in there. And did you hear all that air escaping? That was my ego.
I didn't hear it. I sensed it though.
So this is live, by the way. I just.
Oh, is it?
So you are from literally Transylvania.
I am.
So, like, do you live in a castle, or I don't understand? Like, this is my ignorant American speaking. What's it like over there?
It's literally a place packed with culture and history. So one thing Bram Stoker did got correctly was the fact that we have a lot of medieval castles, and I highly encourage you and everyone who's watching us to visit them. It's a terrific place. If you don't like castles, we have a seaside which is pretty good. There's a lot of fun. There's good mountains to do trailing or whatever you're into. So yeah, we have a lot of.
So that's odd. Oh, he's really cold.
Surprise, surprise.
Just kidding. Oh, that was a joke. It's not funny.
Wait until we go outside and start glowing.
Like when the sun hits you, I saw you sparkle. It was really weird.
Yeah.
Not that I've read all those books. So tell me about Ignite. How many Ignites have you been to? Is this your first one? Have you been to a couple?
It's my third.
Okay.
It's my third. My first one was the one in Atlanta a couple of years ago. Then the one last year in Orlando. I also attended a few builds many years ago actually. So yeah, it's my third Ignite.
And I followed you. I think I follow you on Twitter because I've seen you before, and I was like, I know this guy. What kind of tech do you work on?
Azure. So I started back in the day doing software development when WinForms was the big hit. Then web forms, MVC and whatnot.
The good stuff.
The good stuff. I also did Robotic Studio, if you remember that.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the early 2000s. We did a lot of embedded. Through the company, we do a lot of embedded stuff. And then eventually we realized that we are selling a lot of big architectures and hardware to our customers, such as stadiums. And they didn't really have a good IT department.
Okay.
So the cloud was a no-brainer for us.
Awesome. Well, we're so glad to have you here. We'll come back and talk to you a little bit more. But earlier, Paula got an exclusive look at the Security General Session. Take a look.
Hi, this is Paula Januszkiewicz, and I'm here with Rob Refers. How is it going, Rob?
It's going great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, lovely. So could you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure. I'm the Corporate Vice President for PM in Microsoft 365 Security and Compliance. So I have an exciting and challenging job in doing everything I can to make sure we help keep customers safe.
And you've got also a session at Ignite, right?
I do. Tomorrow afternoon, Monday at 4 p.m., we'll have a Microsoft Intelligent Security overview that will tell the full Microsoft story.
So what's going to be about this Microsoft product solutions? So you're going to be talking about that on a session?
Well, we'll talk about our approach across operations, technology, and partnerships. But we'll also be talking about a lot of exciting news. A couple of the items that I like to talk about, Microsoft Threat Protection as an integrated tool that really brings together signals from across email and Office and Azure Identity and the device endpoint with Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection into one view that security operations can use to really tell a story about what's going on, pay attention to the most important things, and then automated tools to actually help fix breaches and problems as they occur.
And what is actually great is that it also leverages machine learning. so that all the advanced and intelligent threat detection is definitely in place, right?
Yeah.
So any modern malware is actually
We're very excited about that. We see artificial intelligence as a huge tool to help security professionals go faster and be more accurate. It's not the magic solution to all problems, but we've really learned a lot about how we can use the broad view of data that we have and the insights of security professionals working at Microsoft.
Okay, that sounds great. And what would be your recommendation for customers to increase their security posture?
Well, the most immediate thing is go to securityscore.microsoft.com.
Okay.
There is, in fact, a dynamic report card that will help you understand where are you at with a number and the most important things that you need to go do first in order to secure your environment. And I'll go out on a limb and guess that for almost everybody watching, number one will be turn on MFA for your users.
Okay, so is this something that customers are asking about? Is it important?
Yeah, we actually started MFA in general. We've been on a journey for a long time. And one of the interesting things about multi-factor auth is that it's a powerful tool, but users don't like it. And sometimes security admins get afraid of, oh, if I turn that on, all of my users will rebel and they won't like it. And that's why we're excited to talk about passwordless authentication, which is using true multi-factor authentication, something you have, your phone, something you are, bio-auth. And under the covers, the user actually does a multi-authentication flow. But from their point of view, it's just a celebration. I didn't have to type in a password. It was faster.
Yeah, and I mean, in security, there's like so many different new things that you just need to get used to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the design point that I think we're going for is that security is not about getting in the way of the user, but that we design security tools that actually make users more productive and more secure as a side effect.
And what about Joy? So he's joining for the session, right?
Yeah, Joy is the corporate vice president for identity. So she'll actually be talking in detail about passwordless authentication. She'll also be talking about zero trust networking. And as we move to a world where there's no more perimeter and no more walls, and you really need to make sure that you're monitoring interactions between supply chain and cloud SaaS apps and your users' devices, whether they're personal phones or not, you need a system that's actually going to authenticate on every transaction and treat every single access as though it might be an attack, and you need to prove that it's safe.
And what about VP as your customer? So you are also inviting VP to the session, right?
Yeah, BP is a special customer for us. I'm excited about the way we've approached security tools by working directly with customers and to sit side by side and really get their feedback and help them. BP has been one of our first, I'll say, co-design partners, along with Microsoft's own security folks. And so I'm really excited to have Simon Hodgkinson come on stage and tell the story of how they've been working with Microsoft and what they've learned and how that has helped them change their approach to security.
So can you share what BP implemented to improve their security?
They have been working primarily on Microsoft Threat Protection. And so there are some really great stories about co-design where they have new feature ideas. They're like, it's got to work this way, and we turn around and put it in the product. And then we help provide insights for them on what's going on, where are the biggest risks and concerns, and how can they make their environment better.
Okay, great. So you, Joy, and the VP together in one session.
It'll be amazing. 75 minutes for a whirlwind tour through everything security.
Okay, great. I would love to attend this. Thank you so much, Jim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Next up, learn how to power your business apps better than ever. Our community reporter got his exclusive interview with Corporate Vice President James Phillips. Take a look. Okay, so we're going to get back to that in a second. They're queuing it up. I know you want to look at my lovely face, but some of the people online want you to deflate my head a little bit more. I feel like you got to about 75%. That stare, though, did you get that eye? That's awesome stuff. Okay, so now they're telling me that all I needed was the stare, and now we're actually ready now with James Phillips. Take a look at this video right now.
And I'd love to say welcome to James Phillips, who's here today to discuss business applications with us. Hello, James, and thank you for your time today.
Hi, Jen. Good to see you as always. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I've got some questions to ask really about business applications, but before that, I'd love to know your reaction to Satya Nadella's keynote this morning.
I thought it was great. I mean, I think the two things that stood out for me, number one, I love the customer stories. I love what his team actually is doing with these presentations, where it really is centers around the customer, bringing all the videos in, very, very powerful. And then obviously the Open Data Initiative, the announcement with Adobe and SAP to me was sort of the highlight, because it has a lot to do with business applications and really does, I think, put customers in the center of control of their data and allows me as the business applications leader at Microsoft to go create value for those customers.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's really important, those customer stories. So in terms of the IT professional, what is business applications? How would you explain it to them? And why is it important for them to know about it?
So, in business, an IT organization really is ultimately all about creating business value. I mean, that's the role that we play as IT leaders. And the fastest way to go create value for the business is to adopt an application that rolls that value up. Now, what we know is no application is ever exactly what it needs to be for any one particular company. You've got your own processes, your own sort of special sauce, if you will. And so for an IT professional to both understand what's possible out of the box, if you will, and to understand how it relates to the rest of the Microsoft platform to allow you to extend, customize, integrate, I think makes this an important topic for both business leaders and IT leaders as both of those functions come together increasingly.
Oh, that's really good to know. I think that's really important. So in terms of the business analytics, so in terms of the business applications, when we look into the future, what do you think the next steps will be? What can we look forward to? What's coming down the pipe?
So, if you think about business applications and the way that they've been constructed and operated historically, they've largely been about transactional data. I fill out forms, I store data in a database, and I do reports. I mean, that's kind of the history. In the near term, what's changing is the availability of data that's coming from just about everything, telemetry in particular. Every product now is emitting information about its operating characteristics, its health, how it's being used. And that class of data is sort of changing the nature of applications from I collect data from a user to I aggregate data from many sources and make value from it. I think if you look out 5 or 10 years, there's another class of data, which is sort of just ambient intelligence of perception class data, video, audio. Imagine walking into a retail store, grabbing stuff off the shelf and just leaving without going through a cashier, because the cameras in the store understand who you are, what you've taken from the shelf, and can automatically sort of transact with you. Imagine a world where safety violations or potential danger in a factory is picked up by cameras or audio and highlighted without requiring someone to be in the loop. And so as we move forward, I think, as always, data is key, but we move into this world of observational data, and that's where the change is going to happen.
Yeah, I always think it's really interesting that data by itself becomes richer when we put it with other things. Yeah. So when we look at business application solutions such as, we looked at LinkedIn, we look at the Power applications, we look at Dynamic 365, how are those integrated together? And I wondered if you could share any insights to that?
So actually just did a session where we showed a lot of that off. And if you look at, again, data being at the center of everything, it's what the value comes from. We have integrated Office 365, Dynamics 365, LinkedIn, all on top of Azure. And then today, with Adobe and SAP, announced the Open Data Initiative, where we're even pulling their data into this mix. And so one of the, I think, the most compelling value propositions for Dynamics 365, our business application family, is that it is connected, interconnected, both with our applications, our partners' applications, but perhaps most importantly, on a unified data body sitting beneath it.
Oh, that's really interesting. I think there's so many opportunities to do great things with data. So where do you think the industry will take us in 5-10 years' time? What are you most excited about and looking forward to?
Well, I think it comes back to this sort of ambient data through perception means, video, audio, what we would normally consider to be human senses, but made available sort of ambiently, and then the ability to take that back in, gain intelligence, and then act on that. That to me is where the action is. That's sort of on the input side, if you will. On the output side, the ability to then deliver experiences that are fundamentally different, not just a report, not just a form or a process, but mixed reality, where I can take what I've learned from that ambient intelligence and overlay the world in front of me with insights, information that guide me down either a personal or professional process.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much for your time today. It's been my pleasure to be with James Phillips. We've had a great discussion about business applications, and thank you once again, James.
Thank you, Jen. See you soon.
Will do. Thank you.
All right, we are back. They want Alex to stay on here the whole time. They when he makes me squirm. So I have to ask you this. I've never met anyone from Transylvania. Where the heck did this whole vampire thing come from?
It's a book written by Ben Stoker many years ago.
I don't read.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that.
Well,
it seems like that explains almost everything.
There's also a cartoon movie. It's mostly for children, but then again.
Okay. So what is the one thing you want to do when you're here in Ignite?
Network, that's for sure. I really want to network. I want to get the most out of the attendees, the program managers, and whatnot. I love doing that.
Fantastic. And so who are you, do you know people here already, or are there people from work, or what's going on?
As this is my first Ignite, I already know a lot of people around here. I mean, even when you attend sessions, you realize that at some point there is a big group of people who are more or less fanboys. So you obviously meet friends, you obviously meet old friends, but then again, you also make new friends. And Ignite is an awesome opportunity for that.
Speaking of networking, earlier we got a sneak peek into all the different ways you can network on-site at Ignite with Josh. Take a look.
I am back with Anna, Tech Community Lead. Anna, thanks for joining me again.
Happy to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about Tech Community. I understand we might have a birthday today or this week.
Well, yeah, this week. We launched the Microsoft Tech Community back in 2016, so it's a third birthday.
Third birthday. It really doesn't feel like it's that long ago, but it's grown a lot since then. What other milestone is right around the corner here?
We actually might be reaching our 200,000th member very shortly.
200,000th. So our viewers right now could potentially go and sign up and be the 200th member, be a part of history. That's incredible.
200K.
Okay. Awesome. How can attendees here at Microsoft Ignite use the tech community to enhance their networking and social experience?
Yeah, well, one of the biggest things that we achieved this year is that the MyIgnite experience is completely on the tech community. In the past, we just uploaded all the presentation decks and had the video recordings available. But in fact, the MyIgnite experience is completely on the tech community, which means that when you go through that experience and looking for your sessions, you can actually talk to the speakers directly. You can have a conversation with other people who are also interested in this particular session. So that's pretty awesome.
That is awesome. And an important piece of it is for those that aren't here at the conference. Why is that?
Because we are live streaming every single breakout.
Every single breakout?
Every single breakout. Every single theater session.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of live streaming. So.
It's a lot of live streaming, and you can find that all through MyIgnite.
Perfect. Okay, great. Can you show us a little bit about what this experience looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So here I am. I'm in MyIgnite, and specifically, I'm in the session scheduler. So I understand that you've got a breakout too, right, Josh?
I do happen to have a breakout, yes.
All right, let's see and take a look and see where it is. So your session is called Building a Community-Led Tech Conference using Microsoft Teams. So I can see it right here. I can choose to add it to my schedule, and hey, you've already got 2 likes. That's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have a couple people there. That's great.
So if I click through to it, you'll be able to see this session in MyIgnite, and I can see a little bit about you. I can see a little bit about the session itself. I can see it's a 45-minute session, and I can also join the conversation about it in the tech community.
Okay.
So if I click through to that, that'll actually take me to the tech community, and it will be where I can find the presentation decks for your particular breakout. It's also where the on-demand recording for your session will be.
Perfect.
But for some of you who are interested in streaming Josh's session live, you can actually watch the live stream right here in MyIgnite. So you don't have it right here because it's not Thursday quite.
We're not there yet.
No, not yet. But you might have to do a couple more rehearsals before you get there.
Maybe. Maybe. Yeah.
Just to make sure that your live stream is perfect, but it will be right here in MyIgnite, which is connected to the tech community.
Well, that's awesome. So everything can be done right. Tech community has really become the central place for Microsoft Ignite to operate out of. That's great. And it's good to know for those that are not here at the conference that this is also where they can join and be a part of the conference from afar.
Yeah, absolutely. And in order to do that, they need to be logged into the tech community. Just log in with your email address of choice and you're good to go.
Awesome. Well, thank you for explaining it to us. Thank you for the simultaneous plug for my session. And thanks so much for all of that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, we are back, and it's time to spin the illustrious wheel. I asked the people in the back, like, why couldn't we get like the Price is Right sound effect? They told me it was too much. So I'm gonna spin it now and hope that it lands on the one that's in the script. Uh-oh, okay, it looks like I might just get it without even, what? Tracy had the chance to speak to somebody special, and we're going to take a look at that right now.
Shauna, how's it? It's so exciting to see you here the day before all the craziness starts. And so I think I want you to tell me a little bit about today, what's happening. And apparently there's something happening around lunchtime. What's that all about?
Yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of preparation underway. We're setting the tables for a really great luncheon. We have Donna Sakar coming to talk about Model 47 for business. And she's going to talk about all the time she practiced risk-taking initiatives and how that's paid off for her. So all today, we have a lot of content around leadership, around, you know, the business case for empowering LGBTQ employees. So we're really talking not just about technology, but about empowering people to be their authentic self and to really celebrate their diversity and, you know, just be proud of that.
And that's what this is all about, right? So diversity in tech. I mean, that's a big topic these days. I mean, it's always been important, but it's really come under the spotlight, which is pretty cool. So I'd love if you could just tell me a little bit more about the importance and why is this so important, diversity in tech?
Yeah, I think the whole theme for this is, you know, traditionally we've always thought about diversity inclusion as kind of like an HR-driven thing, you know, like just separate from technology. But the reality is it's really tied in with IT pro life, right? We're going in companies that are increasingly diverse, increasingly a need to be inclusive, right, for all different cultures, the people we work with. So I think this is a great day for people to learn about, you know, how can they support their coworkers who are, you know, diverse and like just celebrate the great things that come up with having a really, you know, mixed company with great diversity. So.
And that just adds the special bits. Hey, I mean, more diverse just adds so much more like possibilities for success in what we do.
Yeah, like studies have shown that diversity is good for business. Like that is no question. But I think we really want to focus about culture. Like how can we as human beings, right, just celebrate all the great things that we have and, you know, just celebrate being different. Like you and I come from very different places. We have different perspectives, but I think we bring a lot of value in different ways. And I think learning to walk in the shoes of somebody else who's separate from you, like you learn so much from that. So.
Or walk in their crazy pants.
Definitely crazy pants. Or crazy prince.
Absolutely. So here's another thing. I mean, I know why I absolutely love Microsoft Ignite, but what do you think is it that puts Microsoft Ignite apart from, what makes this a really amazing conference?
Yeah, I think Microsoft Ignite rocks because of the people. It's really about community, having community reporters like you to show all the excitement that's happening on the floor and, you know, sharing that with people on live stream, watching all over the world. I think this is a great chance for us to really connect with people on a personal level, and that's what we try to do with our idea swaps too. So we have group mentoring that happens all week. We have meetups, you know, parents in tech. There's so many areas people can plug in to feel like they belong in a community, and that's really what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah. It absolutely is. I mean, this is my third Microsoft Ignite, and it really, really is about the people. I mean, that's the magic that makes everything absolutely happen. So on a kind of just a wrap-up note for me, I'm very, very happy to be a community reporter this year, right? And we've been working very closely together, and there's this cool program that we've brought together, kind of like a mentorship thing with ambassadors. Yeah. Can you please tell me more about that?
So this is a new program that we've just launched, and it's called the Diversity in Tech Student Ambassador Program. So what we've done is we've recruited 7 amazing young women in technology who are going to be our future IT pros, and they will shadow the community reporters all week to learn how to do content creation, how to network with people, how to dig into technology, you know, that could be really good for their careers in future. And they span all different backgrounds, you know, different age, different culture, different, you know, ethnicities, and we really want to celebrate that and just bring everybody together and just focus, on content and about technology and what empowers people. I think that's the really exciting thing about it. So I hope you get to meet them and hear more from them throughout the week.
Absolutely, and I think just when it comes to that, an important message always for me on things like mentorship is that it's a two-way street. I'm going to learn so much more from that lady than she most probably is from me, and just that exposure of different viewpoints, and I'm very, very excited that. So thanks so much for arranging that and bringing us all together. It's going to be an exciting week.
Yeah, and on that point too, you're a community mentor on our community mentors program. So I think that's a great thing to plug into to build that mentorship relationship. So yeah, it's going to be great.
It is going to be. Thanks so much. It was so amazing seeing you, and I'm really, really looking forward to an amazing week ahead for us.
All through the week. Have a good one.
Awesome. Microsoft Learning now has a new guided path that helps IT pros develop their careers. Earlier, our community reporter found one of the Cloud Ops developers to tell us more. Take a look.
Hello, I have been let away from Seth, so I've managed to wander away, and I have found the mighty and marvelous Rick Klaus. He hasn't really realized yet that my hat's better than his, but... So, Rick, it's an absolute pleasure, as another Rick, to meet you. I hear that you've been doing exciting things with learning and training, and you're part of a new team now. So do you want to spend a bit of while and just tell us about those?
Sure. So I'm Rick Claus. I'm actually the lead of the Cloud Ops Advocate team at Microsoft that specializes and focuses on Microsoft core ecosystem or core infrastructure folks. So the IT operations audience that we've talked to in the past and we're re-engaging with and talking with now.
Okay, that's quite nice, because as an IT pro and ops guy myself, it's nice to have something that might sort of start to rival Channel 9 and the dev guys. That's quite exciting.
Well, I don't want to say rival. We're just simply another arm of that whole group that simply has a different focus. Instead of being a developer focus, we're focused on the operations space and the IT pro space. So we very much partner with them to be able to do stuff. And one of the things that we're here that I'm very excited about today that we're announcing at Microsoft Ignite is this whole new initiative called Microsoft Learn. And my team was one of the teams that was involved, out of many, to be able to create content specifically for the operations space around Azure and around hybrid scenarios that make sense for the IT operations space.
And we were just talking a few minutes ago about the fairly radical new approach that you're taking to that. So I've had some experience of things like Pluralsight, Microsoft Virtual Academy. Can you tell me how this is sort of different and a bit more engaging, like we were just talking about?
Sure. So I'm a big fan of MVA. I'm a subscriber to Pluralsight. So those are absolutely, definitely very good resource for people to go off and to learn. And what we decided to do was simply to complement them, if you will. So what we've done is we've created this environment called Microsoft Learn that you can register with if you want to be able to collect your profile, collect your points, and be able to progress up the food chain, if you will. But then you're able to go through and to engage with different modules of content that's suggested to you by the different profiles of individuals or different job categories that exist inside the IT world, developer space, operations space, site reliability engineer space, that sort of stuff. And then that curated content of a learning path, for what you're going to be going through, has modules with various tasks that are relevant hands-on experience, what you want to do. But instead of just being videos, like MVA was in the past, or instead of being videos and online learning from different personalities like Pluralsight, this is from the foundational level, working your way up to more complex environments that gives you step-by-step progression through those different tasks and modules.
Okay, that sounds really, really interesting. So how can people find out just more about it, just quickly, just before I need to hand back to Seth?
No problem. You're going to want to basically do search for being able to get into docs.microsoft.com, and there's going to be a landing page to get off of there onto the new Microsoft Learn environment, and then go ahead and try. We have a module out there right now for getting your feet wet and just starting with Azure that they actually went through and are talking about during the keynote that you can do today for about maybe 30 minutes at a time. Side-by-side, step-by-steps in code environments. The Azure environment's provided for you, free of charge, to be able to go off and try this, to go through the progression of speeding up your very first VM.
Okay, that sounds absolutely great. Well, thank you very, very much, Rick Klaus, for talking to us, and back across to Seth.
All right, thank you so much. By the way, Rick is part of the team I'm on. If you want to learn more about Microsoft Learn, go to Microsoft.com/learn. It's time to spin the wheel. Again. Like, I'm just gonna, whatever it lands on, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna scare everyone in the back, and they'll be like, well, we can't go to them because we have a hands-on demo brought to you by our community reporter, Tracy. Take a look.
Hello, I'm here at Microsoft Ignite, and I'm joined today with Michael Kops has joined me. So Michael, I would love to know how you're linked into this whole Ignite experience. What is your responsibilities here?
My responsibilities are I am one of the content leads for the entire event.
Wow.
So it's basically how do we get our best, deepest content for Microsoft Ignite, based on what attendees really want.
Okay.
And then how do we organize it so it's discoverable?
I think that's the craziest.
How do we make it so it's as simple as possible for attendees to find what they need?
Absolutely, and I think that that brings me to why I'm so excited to have a chat with you. Is I'm so passionate about helping people and empowering people, and a conference like this, the amount of information is unbelievable. I mean, we've looked at this. I mean, there's about 1,600 odd sessions. It's unbelievable. So they could leave this conference very confused, not supported.
Yep.
How are we helping the people to actually walk away from this conference after being so inspired to be supported as well when it comes to finding the right training material or finding the right content?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to share with you a tool that will not only help attendees find what they need at the conference, it'll help them after the conference as well.
That's
kind of organize your learning from Ignite and on moving forward.
And that's where the magic starts, right? That's afterwards.
Absolutely. Ignite is just the start. So let's go ahead and go in, log into the My Ignite site, and then we can go click down on Discover Sessions. Everyone can do this. Go to Learning Paths.
It's really easy. It really is, guys. This app is amazing.
Learning Paths are role-based, learning paths that are basically a grouping of sessions.
Yes.
Where to go in the expo, hands-on learning activities, labs, exams, everything in one learning path. So conceivably, an attendee could, not go and just randomly find and search for sessions. They could go to a learning path, identify, say, hey, that's my role, and I'm going to build my conference experience
there. And I mean,
there.
that's incredible, because this is how we group content together to help people to follow a specific journey. It's not just about products and things, it's about the journey they want to follow.
Absolutely.
And that's why those learning paths are absolutely amazing.
Let's click on one. For example, they're organized here by solution area. I'm going to go into Desktop and Device Manager. It's a first-person overview of what that role is. Maybe an attendee will self-identify with that, topics of interest. But notice how we have sessions on every day that are related to this topic, related to this role. And then also on the right-hand side, we have the hands-on activities they could do. Later on, we'll talk about the immersion zone and all the great hands-on activities. And then continued learning links. Where do I go after the event? That is super important. And of course, certification exams. We all like to get certified. These are the exams that support this specific role.
That is brilliant. I mean, now I understand why there's so much tagging happen when it comes to the sessions and the content that you upload. It's not just about searching the content, right? It's about putting it in the right places and kind of helping the guys through this crazy maze of content,
and
right?
making it easy as possible for our attendees.
That's absolutely, I fully understand that. And this is available on mobile as well?
Available on the mobile app and on My Ignite, the web app. So,
that's fantastic. Michael, thank you so much. You've just not made me feel better, but I'm sure a lot of people out there, and I really, really appreciate your time today.
No problem.
Thank you.
Awesome. There's so many cool resources for us to learn and share and network at Ignite. But let's check back in with Tony, who ran into Buck Woody at the Expo Hall. Tony, how's it going, buddy?
Hey guys, it's me again here at the Expo Hall. I've got so much swag here, it's almost criminal. Hey Buck, how you doing?
How you doing, Tony? What have you got?
I've got so much stuff. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a lightsaber. I got it, I think the company's called, Densify or something. It was really great. That's a water bottle. There's a lot of these around, so you're not missing out on much. Okay, this is a nice T-shirt. Where'd you get this?
This is from the guys over at New Horizons, the Computer Learning Center. They have those T-shirts. Oh, you just got all kinds of stuff. Code 42. Look. Isn't that cool? I like this. Where did you get all this?
Dude, I've been around. I've walked the entire length of this expo hall. It's crazy. My feet hurt so much.
I got some tips for you if your feet hurt.
Oh yes, definitely. I'll sit down for them.
Yeah. So here's the tips from the insider. I've been coming to these a very long time, and here's what you got to do. Number one, comfortable shoes, right? You got to have comfortable shoes. Number two, pace yourself. There's lots to see, but you have all week. Number 3, make sure you never eat by yourself. Always eat with someone that does what you do and you do what they do. And then the last thing is get that application, the My Conference application, the Microsoft Events one, and definitely set your schedule out so you don't miss a thing. Oh, one more thing. There's all kinds of theaters around in here, even in the expo area where you can learn stuff.
Oh, really? So what stuff have you learned today?
So, I mean, there's things on Excel, so office type stuff, Dynamics, there's Azure ML and AI, which is what I work in. There's just everything you can imagine that you can learn at these little theaters. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you're out.
Oh, wow, that's freaking awesome. I've just been going around collecting swag. I should probably try to learn something, you know. Apart from the AI part, what else have you seen?
So the SQL Server guys are making a ton of announcements over here. And then security, always exciting, always something new. And of course, the hot new word is blockchain, right? So that's here. You can learn all about that. There are partners out here. The Lenovo booth looks amazing. They've got an AI section as well. And again, this Office 365 center arrangement, oh my gosh, very cool.
Awesome. Well, you're my friend, so what's mine is yours. So what do you want out of all this? There's just so much to go around.
Oh, I think a few things.
But get
here.
this. Even the bags are swags.
That is so cool.
So, you know, if you get so much swag, you don't have a place to put it, just get a bag swag.
Well, it's good seeing you again,
All
Tony.
right, Buck. All right. Thank you
Peace
so
out,
much.
man.
Have a great one. All right, guys. That's it. You can see I'm at the expo hall. So much excitement. So much stuff to collect. So yeah, come on down. All right. Have a good one, guys,
Hold
and
on,
enjoy
Tony.
the rest of Ignite.
Tony,
See
make
ya.
sure that you get me stuff too, okay? Because like I can't go over there. I need stuff. He's gonna get me the stuff. Okay. You know what I did for everyone that's here? I pulled someone off the streets. We put a nice pair of shirts and pants on him, and now I'm joined here by none other than Richard Campbell of
Well,
Donner
hello.
Oxford. How are you, my
I'm
friend?
good, sir. How are you?
Good. Like, people don't know this.
Yes.
The very first community thing I ever did was on your show.
No kidding.
It was, I did the new ML, or I called it machine learning for
Right.
.NET.
That was your open source library.
That was my open source
NuML.
library. New ML,
Yeah.
because Phil Hack, those who are programmers know that he did the NuGet thing, which is a package manager for .NET. He's like, that's a really long name. Machine learning for .NET is not a good name.
You need a short name.
And I called it new ML.
Yeah. And it killed.
And well, people used it. My mom liked it. I mean, so that was like 2 people that really liked it.
Well, I mean, and people don't know about you is you actually have a degree in mathematics. Like,
yeah,
you
and
know this stuff.
I know some of
And
this stuff.
You
Yeah.
get a little overwhelming at times. You get going when you're really excited. You really rip.
I spin wheels and stuff. It's crazy. It's amazing. So what are you looking forward to at Ignite?
You know, this is the show. This is like everything possible going on at once. I'm wearing my Run As Radio hat mostly this week, so mostly focused on IT stuff. So very concerned about Server 2019 and everything that's going on in there, because this is the last Ignite, I think, before we really start running with a lot of stuff on 2019. And Azure's endless evolution. There's more and more and more. Just finished recording a show in the podcasting space. They're talking about always on VPN and it's sort of this transition for how do we create VPN connections that are beautifully seamless when you're working in Windows against Windows servers, but also work against the cloud, against third-party VPNs, against phones and other devices that aren't necessarily Active Directory.
Yeah, and as the IT Pro has been evolving to move towards the cloud, there's been some concern that the IT Pro is not relevant, but it's very relevant because they're all machines, they're just in the cloud.
Well, it's a running gag we have on Run As Radio. It's like your job is being replaced. It's like, you know, you're doing less and less of the plumbing work and more of that preventative planning, predictive work.
Like the fun stuff.
Well, exactly. Also opportunities to generate income for the organization. You know, an awful lot of that thinking more broadly about how our technologies work and what we're doing inside of organizations, you find dollars laying on the ground we didn't know were there.
That's amazing. Now, as the IT Pro has evolved, what are some of the key, because you're like a student of how these things change. I was at your talk last week on the evolution of the web.
Yes.
Can you give us like a little synopsis of the evolution of the IT Pro in the cloud age?
That's a great concept too, because there once upon a time it was the guy who was standing closest to the server when the last guy quit, right? And keeping that machine running. Mostly it was about nursing hardware. Operating systems played a bit. There was a bit pieces of software and so forth. The internet threw us into a tizzy. You know, it used to be our networks were ours, and suddenly you want me to connect to other people's networks? Like, why would I do that? And so we narrowed down protocols. We kind of simplified what we were allowed to do, and pretty quickly we found out that that 24/7 demand for the average IT organization was more than you could cope with. You didn't have enough people, you didn't have enough resources, you didn't have bandwidth, and so then you started using external providers.
Right.
So you maybe rented some data center space, maybe just put a couple of racks of machines into racks in other places, and you paid for that bill, and those grew and grew and grew and grew. And then virtualization hit. Like virtualization.
That changed a lot.
That was the first time I ever saw an IT guy go, I don't know what my job is anymore.
Oh, no.
Was when suddenly this disconnect between the workload and the machine happened, where I can now just simply move the workload around. That was shocking to people. And there was, we used to have advertisements or consolidations of data centers. Like, here's this room full of machines, and now it's a rack.
And that's where you started treating your machines as cattle instead of pets, and that's the Snoverism.
Absolutely, great cattle versus pets. That was the hardware became cattle.
Yeah.
The VMs were still pets, right? They were all special and intricate, and you had to be careful with them. But that next level was when we started realizing, hey, everything I know about this VM is in this configuration script. And you know, I can actually run it 5 times and get 5 of them.
Exactly the same way.
And so now you're back, now you're starting to think about your VM as a cattle. You know, bit by bit, we're getting better at thinking these workloads. So, you know, you look at software-defined networking, what is software-defined networking? But I just cattled my network.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. I think it was a ploy of the IT pro to get it so that me, the dev, could never say it works on my machine. It was like a cheat.
Well, my problem when that came at me as the IT guy was, so what's special about your machine? Because it really shouldn't be special.
But I'm a snowflake.
Oh no, I know that. I've hung around with you for a long time.
Okay.
But you know, we get in configuration of code is more than anything knowing what's actually there, a manifest of truth, right? This is the truth. We can reproduce it any time. All Word documents are wrong, right? Inevitably, the moment we write it down, it's incorrect. The only thing that's true is what we just ran.
Right.
And so the fact that that's the only document now is what we execute on, it just takes a whole class of error out.
And the crazy thing is that there wasn't just this evolution to like Snowflake virtual machines to cattle virtual machines, but then something else happened that made it even more interesting, and that was the containerization thing.
Yeah, I mean, containers came from the Linux world, and the cloud was already pretty prevalent when that started to happen. But this idea that I would create a sort of a stateless instant. What I didn't like about my VM is it took too long to build.
Yeah,
it was, and it's, you know, it was a gig plus footprint every time. Like, it was just a lot. Why are we duplicating the operating system and all these things? Why, you know, you'd look at the average VM and say 75% of this is identical every time. And so the fact that you would haul that out of this virtualization piece and start with configuration as code, because that's not how VM started, but containers from the beginning were scriptable entities. So now you're just sort of paring down, this is what my secret sauce actually is. Now, I'm not going to say it's perfect yet, but the idea that we now have sort of a uniform way to go to multiple public entities plus on-premises with a consistent configuration as code model, it's pretty compelling.
I mean, it's pretty amazing that things have changed, like, just during my lifetime. Like, I started with a 14.4K baud modem where I was hooking things up with the VNC, and then I had to cap the end or the internet would spill out.
Right. You didn't want the internet to leak.
Awesome. Well, they're telling me in my ear that now I need to spin the wheel, so it's been a pleasure.
Hey, great to crash your party, man.
We'll see you soon, my
Always
friend.
a pleasure.
All right, so I'm going to spin the wheel because they want me to get up and trip over wires.
Don't die.
I'm pretty excited about that. Hold on. I need to take this off because it's too spinny, right? It got connected. All right, so I'm going to spin the wheel now. We'll see. I'm just going to let fate decide who is going to take this, okay? Because I feel like I've been cheating a little bit, and I don't want to, like, be a cheater, you know? Because cheaters never prosper. So, who did it land on? Well, you know what? It's not the person on the script, so joke's on all of you. Never mind. All right, well, next up, looks like we have Tracy, who has a video with Michael Kops.
Hello, I'm here at Microsoft Ignite and I'm joined today with Michael Kops has joined me. So Michael, I would love to know how you're linked into this whole Ignite experience. What is your responsibilities here?
My responsibilities are I am one of the content leads for the entire event.
Wow.
So it's basically how do we get our best deepest content for Microsoft Ignite, based on what attendees really want.
Okay.
And then how do we organize it so it's discoverable?
I think that's the craziest.
How do we make it so it's as simple as possible for attendees to find what they need?
Absolutely, and I think that that brings me to why I'm so excited to have a chat with you. Is I'm so passionate about helping people and empowering people, and a conference like this, the amount of information is unbelievable. I mean, we've looked at this. I mean, there's about 1,600 odd sessions. It's unbelievable. So they could leave this conference very confused, not supported.
Yep.
How are we helping the people to actually walk away from this conference after being so inspired to be supported as well when it comes to finding the right training material or finding the right content?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to share with you a tool that will not only help attendees find what they need at the conference, it'll help them after the conference as well.
That's great.
Organize your learning from Ignite and on moving forward.
And that's where the magic starts, right? That's afterwards.
Absolutely. Ignite is just the start. So let's go ahead and go in, log into the My Ignite site, and then we can go click down on Discover Sessions. Everyone can do this. Go to Learning Paths.
It's really easy. It really is, guys. This app is amazing.
Learning Paths are role-based, learning paths that are basically a grouping of sessions.
Yes.
Where to go in the expo, hands-on learning activities, labs, exams, everything in one learning path. So conceivably, an attendee could, not go and just randomly find and search for sessions. They could go to a learning path, identify, say, hey, that's my role, and I'm going to build my conference experience there.
And I mean, that's incredible, because this is how we group content together to help people to follow a specific journey. It's not just about products and things, it's about the journey they want to follow.
Absolutely.
And that's why those learning paths are absolutely amazing.
Let's click on one. For example, they're organized here by solution area. I'm going to go into Desktop and Device Manager. It's a first-person overview of what that role is. Maybe an attendee will self-identify with that, topics of interest. But notice how we have sessions on every day that are related to this topic, related to this role. And then also on the right-hand side, we have the hands-on activities they could do. Later on, we'll talk about the immersion zone and all the great hands-on activities. And then continued learning links. Where do I go after the event? That is super important. And of course, certification exams. We all like to get certified. These are the exams that support this specific role.
That is brilliant. I mean, now I understand why there's so much tagging happen when it comes to the sessions and the content that you upload. It's not just about searching the content, right? It's about putting it in the right places and kind of helping the guys through this crazy maze of content,
and
right?
making it easy as possible for our attendees.
That's absolutely, I fully understand that. And this is available on mobile as well?
Available on the mobile app and on My Ignite, the web app. So,
that's fantastic. Michael, thank you so much. You've just not made me feel better, but I'm sure a lot of people out there, and I really, really appreciate your time today.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right, now Tony's having a ton of fun over there at the Expo Center. Looks like he's meeting up with some students right now. What's going on over there, my friend Tony? Looks like we don't have him just yet, but that's okay. By the way, as we are getting ready, let me just tell you about some of the cool things that I want to talk about, because I can and they let me have the camera. I am doing some AI sessions starting tomorrow. I love all things AI. There's a ton of cool things with Azure Machine Learning Services, but now they're telling me I need to go back on script. We all know that Ignite is the place for peer-to-peer networking. Earlier, Josh sat down with Anna Chu to learn how to take advantage of the connections you've made at the event once it's over.
I am back with Anna, Tech Community Lead. Anna, thank you so much for joining me to talk a little more about networking.
Yes, it's great to be here.
Can you tell me a bit more about some of the other networking opportunities that people can expect to find while attending Microsoft Ignite?
Yeah, we've actually really invested in different networking opportunities for all the attendees here at Microsoft Ignite. Meetups are a really great way for people to network, and they've been very popular, and so we thought, why don't we bring meetups into Microsoft Ignite? We've got 15 officially scheduled in in the MyIgnite session scheduler. So if you take a look now, you can see that we have a range of different topics, from Windows 10 deployment to topics around security and Azure, but also we have some different topics that aren't related to a specific product, such as, you know, how to lead user groups, how to give back to the community. And these are things that people care about. They're led by MVPs and RDs who are a really big part of the community content here.
Yeah, pretty wide net on topics then. That's great. I've also heard a little bit about idea swaps. Can you tell me what the deal is with that?
Yeah, so our meetups are pretty big. I mean, when you've got a conference that's got over 26,000 people, the scale is pretty massive.
Indeed.
So we fit around 75 people max. We can fit a little bit more in some of these meetup rooms, but that's a lot of networking to do. And for some people, they feel like they need a small interactive style in order to do that. So idea swaps came to fruition because of that. They fit about 8 to 10 people. They're happening here in the Diversity and Tech Lounge, and you'll see some really awesome tables, people having great discussions, and you can add these to your schedule. So in order to take a look at these, I've got it right here, and you can see all the different idea swaps that are have been prearranged by particular attendees. So we've got an idea swap for artificial intelligence, Azure Active Directory, and they've been so popular that we're at capacity. We're only letting 10 people in at a time.
Great ideas.
Yeah, they're pretty good, but there are still some available. We've got one here for Microsoft Flow. So once you add that to your schedule, you could be person number 9, person number 10, and once we hit capacity, then that's why we hit at capacity right here.
What about a even more intimate environment, like a one-on-one? Are those opportunities present?
Yeah, we've got really great space for that, and they are also idea swaps. We're calling the group ones group idea swaps, and then the one-on-one, they're one-on-one idea swaps. So to learn more about that, I would recommend you go into the Diversity and Tech Lounge. We have a great concierge experience over there. Just talk to them and say, hey, I would really like to schedule some one-on-one networking. How do I do that? And they'll be glad to help you.
Awesome. Are there more informal ways that people can network outside of some of these stuff built right into the tech community?
Yeah, I mean, you're bound to meet someone who's going to be someone who could be your potential mentor, someone who could be from your home country, maybe someone who can help you with your professional development or an even more technical side of things too. You could meet them while queuing for the hotel shuttle. You could meet them while in some of these more formalized meetup and idea swap situations. So, you know, I really encourage people to get out of their comfort zone, just strike up a conversation, say, hey, like, you know, so you're here at Microsoft Ignite. Is it your first time? Are you a reigniter? What was the best session that you went to? Who was your favorite speaker? And you never know who you might run into.
I love it. Sometimes we just got to break free a little bit there and reach out.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk a little bit about how we can network and be social here at Microsoft Ignite.
Awesome. Great to be here.
Awesome. I love live shows. By the way, Raymond had a chance to talk to a special guest, and we recorded that video earlier. I want you to see what they had to say.
I'm here with Stephen Rose. Hi, Stephen.
Hey, Raymond. How you doing?
Good. So what are you up to?
OneDrive. We are having a great week this week. We're going to be making a ton of great announcements. We have some phenomenal sessions for our customers. So we're very, very excited to be here this week.
Well, as it comes to OneDrive, I have one question.
Yeah.
Is it Windows or is it Office?
It's an M365. So M365 is Windows plus Office, plus our security and EMS suite. So now you're like, well, why is that in there? Let's start with the new feature we just announced a few weeks ago called Known Folder Move. Known Folder Move allows our customers on Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 10 to actually be able to migrate their data to the cloud. It'll actually take everything that's on their My Documents, that's on their desktop, and that's in their photos, and it will move it to OneDrive. So what's great there is once you do that, you get all these great features that open up, because now you can use things like files restore in case you get malware or you get ransomware, where you can restore all your files back to a very, very specific point in time. And with Windows 10, with 1609 or above, you're getting files on demand. So you can see all your files, you see those great over 230 previewers that we have, so you know exactly what those files look like without having to have them locally. And you can even search them. So you can say, hey, I want to find this. It doesn't have to be on the device. And of course, you can right click. to download that and have that local. But with the upcoming release coming out this October, we're actually going to now manage files on demand as part of Storage Sense inside of Windows 10. So you can set a group policy that says every day files that haven't been used go back to the cloud, or move all the files back to the cloud every month, 3 months, 6 months, etc. So as we start to see more and more, because files on demand isn't just OneDrive, it's 1609 and above that brings that functionality. So there's going to be more and more where Windows allows us to do things more deeply integrated into the operating system, bring more functionality and make it easier, while we still have OneDrive. And of course, OneDrive is right there when you install Windows 10 and it's ready to go. So, Known Folder Move, KMF, is one of the really big features. We've had well over 120,000 views of that blog. People are really excited because once you get your content into M365, that's where you're going to be able to get the intelligence and work from every device. And if something happens to your device, you're good to go. It's easy to restore, easy to bring back. And then, of course, we extend that into things like Exchange and Outlook, where you can add a modern attachment, where you can do, app mentions and things inside of Office. We're, of course, storing OneNote and all that. So it really all comes together where we're that sort of connective tissue between so many of those apps and those great features.
Okay, so Known Folder Move. Can I say Known Folder Move is folder redirection to the cloud?
It's a little bit more than that, because what's great is with folder redirection, when somebody takes a look at that folder, it has a new string. What's awesome about Known Folder Move is that when the user clicks Explore, it'll still say My Documents, Desktop, Photos. The only thing that they'll see is that little icon that shows it's in the cloud or it's local. And that's really the key thing. You and I have been, IT pros for years, and we've had this conversation. The one thing that we know is if it's invisible and seamless to the end user, that's great. No matter how cool we think something is, unless they're not going to think it's that cool. But what's great is they continue to work the way they always did, and that's the secret. But now it's all that cloud power really brings so much more security and peace of mind. It opens up so many new opportunities for people to work the way they want to work.
So OneDrive is actually, it's an enabler to move to the modern workplace?
It is not just the enabler to move to the modern workplaces. Once you're in there, that's how you're going to do all of your sharing. It's bringing intelligence into that. It is allowing you to work from a Mac or a PC or iOS or Android. It's allowing you to share internally or externally, back and forth with a variety of people. And we're doing it all really, at the highest levels of security. If we find that files are being overwritten, we're immediately going to say, hey, is this malware? Is there some ransomware? So we're protecting you on the back end and on the front end. When you move to a new device, if you're using autopilot, boom, all your stuff is right there ready to go as soon as you log in. So it is that first step to help get you into the cloud, but it opens up so many great things like Teams, and you have SharePoint and Yammer and all these other apps, which we just add extra goodness, that layer of jelly on top of some already great peanut butter to make it great.
Cool. So I'm really looking forward to what's going on with OneDrive for this week.
Awesome.
I think you're going to have some really exciting sessions going on here.
I think so too, and it's great to see you guys and all the MVPs here rooting us on. So we're super excited.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Stephen.
All right, looks like they got all of the spider webs out of the wire that we have over for Tony at the Expo Hall, who is with a student ambassador. Tony, I got $10 on you, buddy. What's going on?
Hey Seth, how you doing?
Great.
I'm still here at the Expo Hall. I finally got to sit down, thankfully. And I'm here to interview a D&T student ambassador called Elizabeth Kiernan. She's a student at Valencia College right here in Orlando. So Elizabeth, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing okay. So tell me, what's it like being a student at Ignite?
It's really exciting. I'm not going to lie, it's a little overwhelming being here with all these people, but I am surrounded by so many people who share the same love and passion for technology as I do, so it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome. So I'm curious, what's your major at Valencia College?
I'm studying computer science.
How are you finding it so far?
I love it a lot.
Well, awesome. Any minors?
No minors.
Okay, so give us a brief history on how you came about attending the Ignite conference this year.
So Microsoft, or someone from Microsoft, contacted the head of the computer science department at my school, and I was nominated and asked to be here by Microsoft to be a diversity and tech student ambassador. So the other young women and myself who are D&T ambassadors, we just basically promote diversity in technology and why it's important.
Awesome. That's pretty cool. So, what makes your being here? What makes Ignite special for?
I think what makes Microsoft Ignite so special is all the people who come here. So the technology itself is really cool, but it's the people and the energy they bring, and how you're able to connect with people and learn from each other.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth. It was great to have you here, and enjoy the rest of Ignite. Back to you, Seth.
All right, Tony, you're the man. I just won $10 from the director. I'm pretty excited about that because you got to talk to me. I'm really excited. All right, Raymond is right around here somewhere in the Hangouts. Raymond, can you hear me, my friend?
Yes, Seth, I can hear you. I'm here with an attendee, Alex de Jong. And Alex de Jong, welcome.
Well, thank you very much, Raymond.
So, Alex, you attended the keynote this morning. What did you think of it?
Well, it was interesting. It was a little bit different than the other keynotes I'm used to. However, there was this one topic, the Open Data Initiative, and that was really cool, where Adobe and SAP and Microsoft work together to have the data to be owned by the actual owner of the data, which is the end user. So that was an interesting topic in that keynote.
Cool. And after the keynote, did you attend one of the tech sessions?
Yes, absolutely. I've been visiting the Workspace 365, or the modern workplace based on Microsoft 365 topic, which was really interesting. Actually, I was planning this week to go and see a lot about, for example, Windows Autopilot and how we deploy Windows. However, this morning there were these announcements about Windows Teams and Microsoft Search. That was amazing. That was a really great session.
So that actually changed your focus for the rest of the week? You're going to attend search sessions instead of Intune and EMS?
Well, I really have to rethink my schedule here. There's this app I use for my personal schedule agenda. I have to change everything. So I'm going to take tonight and see what's more in store about the Microsoft Search features and Windows, Microsoft Teams. Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you very much, Alex. Back to you, Seth.
Group of people and alums. Raymond, thanks again for that. I have a group with me of alums and new people. How are we doing, my friends? Daryl, Alistair?
Yeah.
It's been a whole year. What have you all been doing?
Working really hard.
You could have come up with something more clever, like I went hot air ballooning a couple times, rode a unicorn, ate some rainbows, something.
Went hobbit caving, yeah.
Where are you from? I remember you were like from...
Let me say it in American. New Zealand.
I've been to New Zealand.
There you go. I sounded like you.
Thank you. I went to the Hobbit place, and then I went in the doors, and there's no homes in there.
No, it's all cleared out.
It's all fake, man.
All the props are gone.
Fantastic. And how you doing, Alistair?
I'm all good. Good.
Fantastic. It's good to have you back.
Yeah. It's great to be back.
So tell us a little bit about Ignite. What makes it different this year than last year for you?
I would say the location is far better organized. So having the keynotes over in one area, but everything else here, it just feels a lot better experience for attendees.
What about for you?
It's evolutionary compared to last year's revolution. We've seen a lot of maturity happen over the last year around the product set and what's come through. So it's been good to see that level of maturity come through. Customers are now embracing the technology much faster than last year. So that's definitely good for me.
Wait, if I remember right, you're also from South Africa, is that right?
Yeah.
And so did you know each other beforehand, Tracy? Oh, she says that like, yeah, we served some time in prison together. It was great.
That's
it was
pretty
awesome.
Well, there's only 5 people in South Africa, so 2 of them's here.
So how did you like everything so far?
It's amazing. I mean, Ignite is just incredible, and it's a family meetup. I mean, this is our once a year family reunion where we just see everyone that we know and love, and we have an incredible time.
So really, you do know each other. How did you meet each other? Just like part of the community in South Africa?
Yeah, community.
Fantastic. So did you get to watch the keynote?
Yes, we were there.
Okay, so I want to get your unfiltered thoughts on it. Who should go first? Should we get Daryl to go first?
let Daryl.
Daryl. All right, let's do this.
My take on it is that last year there was a lot of tech that was displayed in it. It was a longer keynote. This time Satya had to cover a lot of topics at really high level. So touching on things. I really like what Julia had to say at the beginning about changing of a digital mindset, which is kind of what we're going to talk about. You know, this real change and what IT pros have to do to adapt and change and thinking about the new technologies.
What about you? What did you like?
The new Open Data Initiative.
That was really cool.
Adobe,
not
SAP,
expecting
and
that,
Microsoft on the same stage.
Or anybody, and the cool thing is that anybody else can join into that Open Data Initiative. What did you like about it the most?
Well, for me, it's about being able to open the platform on the back end so that you can consume information. It's all about business outcome at the end of the day. We live in the Tinder generation, swipe right, you want a different app. So being able to surface data across platforms and using the necessary tooling to do that makes it much easier to interop between the applications that have always been at the forefront of generating business in the organization. It's nice to see that Adobe and SAP talk and have conversation with Microsoft.
So you're MVPs and you're experts in your field. When people watch this keynote, what are some things that you think they should take away for their business, something practical? You know, you should probably get started on doing this. What would that be for you, Tracy?
Well, I think for me, definitely the focus they're starting to put on the digital first business mindset and the change management and how we think and the cultures. So I'm glad to see that that's starting to come through. So I think that's important, is to start going back and thinking about that.
What does digital first look like?
Wow, look like happy. I think digital first is more a way with it's how we think. It's I don't think it's so much something we portray, but it's about how you think automatically without thinking first, the way we react to things. I mean, that's a digital first business mindset, and that's a lot of culture that we have to change. I mean, using technology better, empowering people better. That's the big change. It's the culture change. Technology is a small part of it.
Fantastic. So digital first. Just a couple of thoughts on that, and then we've got something that we're going to play. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think that with digital first, with everything changing so quickly, one key thing to help organizations keep up with that is to really rely on community to help each other out, to share that journey.
Fantastic.
From our side, we're looking at kids now being born with silver iPhones, not silver spoons in their mouths.
Right.
So that's really the gist of what we're dealing with. Digital first is about that, embracing that technology.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much. We have Jen with Michael Kops, who talked to him earlier today about a very interesting topic. Let's take a look.
Hello there, and I'm here with Michael, who's going to tell us exactly what the attendees at Ignite can enjoy in terms of a learning experience. So, Michael, what do you think are the most important things that attendees should know about here?
Well, we're in the immersion zone. As you can see, this area way in the back of the Learn, Connect, Explore. And come along and I'll show you. Basically, we've got three main experiences of hands-on learning. And the first being the technology workshops. These are what we would consider our traditional instructor-led labs. They fit about 50 people, and they are RSVP only. So in the system tools, the attendees would have to have registered. But I want to let everyone know there is a wait list. Not everybody always shows up, so you may be able to get in if you just come and put yourself on the wait list line. And then we have hands-on labs. In hands-on labs, we know our Ignite attendees love their hands-on learning. And so we have stations throughout, as you can see all around, even behind these workshop rooms here. We've got several hands-on lab stations organized by topic area. So if you go to a specific station, say on security, you'll see a set of labs on security, and then our proctors that are helping out with labs, they're going to be security lab experts. So hopefully if you get stuck doing a lab, you will have a proctor that's done these labs before. We'll be able to help you out. And then the last experience are our immersion workshops. Those are the three workshops here. These are focused on Microsoft 365. And there is one on security. There's one on teamwork, and then there's one on modern desktop. Those are three, really big attendee priority areas. And so the immersion workshops are only about 15 people, much more interactive, and you go through common customer scenarios there. So as you can see, a ton of great hands-on learning.
Wow, that sounds really amazing. Is there anything in particular you'd recommend for people who are just starting to think about the certification path?
For certification, yeah, over in the immersion or Learn, Connect, Explore area behind the immersion zone, we do have a certification area. You can learn about brand new certs, and we all, are familiar with the certification process. We've invested in new certs. There's 3 new certs coming for Azure, Microsoft 365 certifications on the way. Of course, coming to Microsoft Ignite, it's all about preparing for those certifications. So that's where you would go into the immersion zone, start taking the labs that support a lot of the certification content, and get ready. Microsoft Ignite is all about getting ready.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's so important that attendees take the time to do this. There's one of the habits of highly effective people, according to the book, is that you take time to sharpen the saw. So you take some time out to learn these skills in a very safe environment. So do you have any particular favourite lab that you like to do, or anything you'd like to recommend?
I am a big fan of the Microsoft 365 labs. We really invested making some awesome security labs. Security is always top of mind for our attendees. If you ask any attendee, it's usually on their top 3 initiatives for the event. And so we've got labs across the full Microsoft 365 security stack, threat protection, information protection, security management, and then of course identity labs on security as well. So if you're into security, Immersion Zone is where you should go. With the labs, also we have labs just about on every technology you can think of.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time, Michael. It was great to speak with you. I look forward to trying one of the labs myself. They sound really good. I'll probably do one of the data ones. Well, thank you so much for your time, Michael. And I'll hand over back to Seth and the team.
All right, we are almost to the general sessions. I'll give you a couple of seconds. What are you going to watch this week?
Teams.
Teams.
Teams and teamwork.
What about you, my friend?
I'm looking at employee engagement with Yammer.
Fantastic. What about you?
Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint.
See, but I'm the dev. I love the dev stuff. It turns out that the general session coming up next, one of them is going to be all about dev things as well. I'm pretty excited about them. One more thing that you want to tell everyone as we're signing off for this segment.
Citizen development.
Say hello to your fellow attendee.
Fantastic. What about you?
Empower your people.
Awesome. So as we head into our general sessions, don't forget to log in or register with the Microsoft Tech community to continue building your Microsoft Ignite experience. And no matter which general session you choose from, you'll be able to view the others on demand after the show. I'm pretty excited about these sessions. Make sure you tune in. There might be a surprise guest in one of them, so you'll have to keep watching one of them, okay? Thanks so much, and we'll see you after the break.